Hey guys, so I've been hearing a lot of talk lately about how we're going to feed 9 billion people in this population increase by 2050. How we're going to get the food to feed 9 billion people, basically. So, I've been hearing a lot about people who think that GMOs are the solution because when we have GMO foods, there's a higher crop yield of crops and more food to feed the people. So also I've been hearing a lot about pesticide use and how we should increase pesticide use because it will increase the crop yield of crops because there will be less crops lost to pests. And also another threat is that we will need to continue to destroy our forests and rainforests in order to have enough land to farm. But I think the solution to all of this food production problem is a lot more simple than we're making it. So I'm going to read to you a couple facts from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, the world needs to produce 70% more food by 2050 to feed 9 billion people. And another fact is, according to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, 80% of the world's land that is used for agriculture is used to grow animal feed or livestock feed. I believe that we can utilize this land that is being used for livestock feed and use it to directly feed the people because we will have a higher output of food rather than using this many crops to feed animals over the course of their lives to get this much food. So I made this diagram to help further illustrate what I'm trying to say and to prove to you how we can truly feed the world if we just stop using livestock and eating animal products and using animal products in our everyday life. So here goes. Okay, so here's the diagram I made about how we can increase our food production if we just stop using our agricultural land to produce livestock feed instead of directly giving it to the humans. Okay, so here at the top we have world agricultural land. So that is the total land in the world that is used for agricultural production. So 80% of that land is used to produce livestock feed and 20% of that land is used to produce consumer produce. Okay, so inside that 80%, we have 4 of these. So basically, we have 4 20% consumer produce agricultural lands inside the 80%. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 20%. So what I'm trying to say is that we have basically 4 times as much land, or a 400% increase in agricultural production if we basically X out livestock feed and use 100% of the land that we have in order to produce food just for humans instead of kind of filtering our nutrients or feeding the livestock the food that should be directly going to humans. So right here I have, according to the FAO, or aka the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, the world needs a 70% increase by 2050 in the food, or aka agricultural production. Alright, so if we stop consuming and using animal products, aka the land that is used to produce livestock feed, we can increase our agricultural production by 400%. So just to make this clear, we need to increase our agricultural production by 70%. And I'm saying that if we stop consuming animal products and just using them in general, we can increase it by 400%. So basically, in conclusion, we use 80% of our world's land to produce animal and livestock feed. Okay. So, if we utilize that land, we could basically increase our agricultural production, or food production, by 400% or 4 times. So that means 4 times the amount of food that we have right now we would be able to feed 9 billion people with. This is not including the amount of food that meat industry produces. But think about this. So basically, you have one animal, and that animal, in order to raise that animal, the animal has to eat a certain amount of grain every day for its entire life. So basically, you're feeding that animal the grain that you're using the land to produce. So let's say you have this many crops or this much feed that you need to feed the animal its entire life. So basically, you're using this much feed or this much food to produce this much food, because when you slaughter the animal, you only get this much food, or basically the meat that you can actually use from the animal, opposed to the large amount of feed or the large amount of food that you could be using to feed people to get this much amount of food. Basically, you're getting a very small output for a very large input. So if we stop eating animal products and stop using animal products, basically just stop using livestock and using our food and our feed to feed livestock, then I believe, can feed the 9 billion people without having to destroy our rainforests, or having to destroy our forests here in the US, or having to use GMOs and pesticides. And also, we would basically have more food than we know what to do with, because we have 4 times as much agricultural produce than we did before. So we could use the food that we have that is left over to go and feed hungry kids or feed those in need, and that also would solve the world hunger issue. We would basically be able to feed all the people who are hungry with the food that we have left over. Alright, so I guess that about does it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and comment and like my video. I also have another video that I made about a week ago that you guys can check out on my channel. And yeah, just let me know what you think of my video in the comments, and subscribe for more. So thanks guys.